You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life? I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better.
Hypnosisisgreat.com.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. What's up, everyone? For some reason, I always have to readjust everything, even though it's already adjusted. Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. So it's changing, stuff's getting better. Let everyone know I'm a hypnotist. I'm an old pro wrestler. I don't know if that's the right word in there. It makes me sound like I'm old. I kind of am, but I used to be. So I did pro wrestling stuff, comedy stuff, other stuff, music stuffs. So if anyone is interested, I don't know, fuck, give me a call. Also, yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What's that matter? You're gonna know who I am eventually on the show. If you're gonna listen, if you're gonna stay here, and if you're listening to a podcast, if you're listening to this and you're like, "Dang, what does this guy look like? I want to know." You can go on YouTube, search it. You'll find the Public Access Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, "Fuck, this guy, I don't want to look at his stupid face," you go and you put anywhere you listen to podcasts, except for your super hipster one. I'm probably not on there, but anywhere else you'll find it and you can listen there because the content's good. So, speaking of good content, speaking of my special guest, I have my special guest right here, right now. And my special guest right here and right now is Guapo Grande. What's
What's going
happening?
on, Rusty? How's it going, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty great, man. How about yourself?
Not too shabby, not too shabby. Living life.
Yeah, I feel like I got to get all fidgety before I sit down. Because yeah, it's probably not gonna be for a bit. One of those things that's good is stretching, but it doesn't always happen. It's something that should if you've been in wrestling. It's probably a
Yeah.
good thing to do.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, not that I practice it every day, but it should be. It's like good
Right,
eating habits. Yeah, you should do
right,
it
yeah,
every day.
should. But yeah, it doesn't happen. I don't know. Uh, you know, in theory, like DDP yoga, like I don't know if you've ever tried that.
I have. It is intense. Like, that was the
It
first kind of yoga I ever tried, and I was like, "Why am I sweating so much?" And I was like, "Oh, wow. I guess this is like super intense."
Yeah, and I mean, dude, it fucking works
Yeah.
great for that, and like especially like some of those ones in your back. It's like, okay, that's
Oh,
good,
yeah.
man. It can fucking take
DDP
take
yoga, not a sponsor yet.
not yet, man. Yeah, it's happened a few times I've tried it, but I mean, yeah, every time I've been like, man, that feels good. And then I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'll probably do it some other time, and then it just kind of
Yeah,
just
3 years later.
yeah slides out. But so where have you been on a lot of podcasts? What's your podcasting history? So
I've
I
been
can
on a
kind of
couple, yeah, I've been on a couple podcasts. I've been on a Strangers and Friends podcast by Chubby Elvis. He's a big guy on TikTok. Then a couple did Mickey C experience. So I've had my share of a couple of podcast interviews.
Okay. So if people need to get more information about you, they can go uh
Yeah, they can
check
definitely
those out.
a quick Google search with Guapo Grande is
Yeah,
not only a good way to do it, but it's also safe for work. So
right. Which is good. You can never be too sure. And um so then you probably have like I'm trying not to do questions that you've probably been asked on podcasts, but this is out of my own curiosity.
Of course.
Where did you do your training
So
or start, I
yeah,
guess?
so I started training wrestling at East Coast Pro Wrestling in Lake Hiawatha, in New Jersey with Gino
Uh,
Caruso. So it was in 2011, 2012. So it was right after I dropped out of college. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And I dropped out of college, become a professional wrestler. So I mean,
cool, man.
I have no regrets. It's got me to where I am now. Every decision I made, every breath I took landed me where I am now, and I'm very happy. It took it took a lot of mental health training and soul searching, but here I am. I'm living my life. Working in the indie wrestling scene, married, and been on Netflix. Not a lot of people can say that. So I
Married
mean,
to wrestling as well.
married to wrestling and to a beautiful woman. So both
Okay.
both very very successful in my eyes and in my heart.
So, quick side note, did you drop out of college to pursue wrestling, or did you drop out of college and then pursue wrestling?
I would think a little bit of both. I just like went to college to go through the motions, but like it was my second year, it was my sophomore year of college, and I was just like burnt out. I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like, there's nothing in college like, that any major that was for me. I was a communication major, so like that's like the broad spectrum of when you go to college. Like, you're all right, what the
Yeah.
fuck am I gonna do? I'll be a communications major. So I was like, all right. I stopped college in like 2020, like those fall of 2011, became a waiter to support my training, and then I started wrestling, and it was great. So, and then along that line, I found out what I wanted to do as a side hustle. So I became a massage therapist along with professional wrestling. So I've had a lot of like uh shoot careers as well. But now in my day-to-day job, I work in supply chain. So
Okay.
I got a lot of experience in a lot of things. I went to school for a little bit for EKG reading and phlebotomy. So just in case the end of the world happens, I have a lot of skills to keep me afloat and needed in the community.
Well, I mean, how good was it when you dropped out of college? How happy were you? Or did it register? Because like now it's easy to go back to be like, dude, fuck yeah, like what was I doing there? Like I tell people to drop
Yeah.
out a lot.
I I
So
think I think it was much easier for me than I intended. It's just like I just knew like from like high school, like college wasn't for me. Like I just was not a fan of school. Like I just was not a hit the books kind of guy. Like, I got by my personality, and I got by like, just because like I was able to do enough to get good grade enough like C's to graduate. And like
yeah,
that
me too.
C's get degrees.
Right? Sometimes D's do too. But
Yeah. So we didn't
yeah.
have D's in my high school. It was C's and then fail.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I went to high tech high school in North Bergen. Well, now it's in Secaucus, New Jersey, but it's like an honor school. So it
Oh
was
shit.
so it's like ABC and then not an F. It was called NA after that. So it was like, all
Just
right, C's got degrees, baby.
yeah. I mean, it does. Somehow, man. Somehow, like fuck it. It's I don't know, man. Yeah, school was fucking. I don't
Well,
know
so
why I went as long as I did. You know.
yeah, it's so many years of your life. I mean, I guess for the fundamentals like the ABCs, one, two, threes, and stuff like
Right.
that, but not used calculus. But I use the word mitochondria quite a lot in conversations as a metaphor So I guess
Yeah.
that I was like when like my team's like doing good or if I'm like trying to hype someone up, I'm like, you're like the motherfucking mitochondria of this team, man. You're the powerhouse of all cells. So that's what I got going on that I took away from school.
That's good. That's what you needed. It was that one little part,
Just
and
the one thing.
the one thing. Yeah. I mean, I think like yeah, the one thing I got from it was buy land with water access. That was like the one thing I learned in school that I can like
Just bring it
now it
all.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
20 some years later, it's like, oh yeah, well, that's probably
Ding.
was a good idea. But yeah, everything else, man. So you said Netflix show. What was that? What
Yeah, so I was on Netflix's Easy Bake Battle, the holiday edition. So I also have a YouTube show called Guap Scrubs, where I started in 2019, and it's like a restaurant review show. So I would show off like a restaurant special carnivore dishes, vegetarian dishes, and desserts. Then the schman dinner kind of. And so I had to pivot. So I started cooking on the channel, and I from all my like SEOs and marketing, they one of the casting agents found my channel and reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in the show. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So they uh they vetted me and they went through the casting process. I got on the show and it was fucking awesome. I loved it. It was I am meant for the camera. I'm a natural born
yeah.
entertainer. I started doing stand up in high school, then did
uh,
learned improv and wrestling. So like entertaining is part of my lifestyle.
So when you were doing stand up in high school, like so did was it like because most of it's at a bar? Were you like that kid who would be in there and
So I was reluctant enough. My high school had a stand-up comedy like program for the students. So that's where I
whoa.
started. Yeah. So we would do like open house shows in the school, and then like I did a couple shows at like Rutgers University, and then open houses and like when I was in college and different bars and stuff. Then had a lull, and then I was like jumping right into wrestling. So which helps,
Yeah.
you got to have some kind of mic skills to be in wrestling. So stand up kind of help me with that as well.
Yeah, as well as the improv. Then you said you got
Exactly.
yeah. Um, I mean, and the improv is fucking. I don't know. I feel like improv was more fun than stand up. Stand ups like, and I felt like the people that I was hanging out with more the improv crowd. I think
Oh yeah.
was like a better fit.
I I think when you have two groups of people, it's stand up crowd, like, and you're not like doing the work, you're just like hanging out outside the club. I think improv friends are much less self-deprecating than stand-up friends because like it's just two different worlds. and
Yeah.
you're like when you're with your stand-up friends, it's like it's like out depressing the other person.
Right. And then everyone together, and then everyone puts those
Yeah.
stories together, and it's like, oh shit, man, what am I doing here? Like, I need something happy right now to go home and do something else. But
Yeah.
so then okay, so to pivot back then to the show. So what was your like did they like have a story or something for you? Like, was it like tell your story and or you just come on there as just like you're the guy, you're here to fucking bake and
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't really what they filmed and what they showed. There was a lot of stuff they cut out. So I guess like the just throughout the editing process, they like just kind of like got more to the point. Like we had a lot of interviews that we did on camera, and just, that was like a lot of personal stuff. Like not personal, but like more like in detail of who the
yeah.
cook was. But I guess they were just cut for time or whatever. So I was just like the sweet the sweet fat guy that that got eliminated, you know.
Did you get eliminated fast?
Yeah, it was first round elimination. It's a cooking show,
Cool.
and I was like anticipating. I'm a really good cook, but I suck at baking. And my first thing I had to do was bake, and I was like, "Fuck."
Oh,
So,
yeah. They're two different things.
oh yeah,
They're
cooking,
two very
cook,
different things.
cooking is an art. baking is a science. You know, I always say
Yep.
that because you can fuck around with cooking and make something good, but like baking, if you choose the wrong flour, the whole thing can go to shit. So
Yeah. Or you measure something like that would, like with cooking, uh like if you want a little bit more spice, you put a little more spice in, but if you put in a little bit more flour or something, then the thing just turns into the shit pile. And like,
exactly, it's like
well,
there's so much gray area to work with cooking. Well, baking is just black and white. I was like, all
yeah,
right, well, you got to roll with the punches.
yeah. And so like, did they have you like interacting with other people in the show, or were you
Yeah. So it was three. There was two contestants with me, and we were all cooking at the same time in the same kitchen. And then the host was Anthony Anthony from Queer Eye, and he's such a sweetheart, such a nice guy too. And I was like, oh, thank God, because sometimes you hear stories about like celebrities being dicks in real life when
yeah.
you meet them, but he was a real sweetheart, and I was reluctant, starstruck, and reluctant.
I just like, all right, this guy's cool, man. This guy
Yeah,
can make it a little more fun. And
yeah.
so there's three of you, and then they cut you like the first.
First round.
So of only three people. So like, so it's
So
one person gets cut, and then
it's kind of like a Jeopardy system where like my episode is like the fourth episode within, but there's like different rounds in each episode, and the person who
okay,
wins the two rounds goes on to the next episode. So I was with someone who won the previous episode, and then it was two new people, me and some other woman, and we were fighting against her, not fighting against her, but competing against her. So it's like a round robin almost.
okay, good. Thanks for the Jeopardy analogy, man. I'm a big Jeopardy fan,
Hey,
so
no
it
problem.
works out okay. Yeah, dude, it's fucking so like what I mean, after that, like being after you like that show aired, like were you getting like random people, like different people like
uh
hitting you up or anything, or like
not really. I got a couple people like I maybe got like 10 or 20 people like that like messaged me saying like, oh, like you were freaking awesome, me and my wife love you, or me and my husband loved you, you guys you have like a great personality. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. But it was
yeah,
not the amount of stardom
right.
I was hoping for.
But I mean, like there's stuff that's like I mark out for fucking weird things, like and like certain people like that, like people may not fucking know at all, but then like it's like, oh dude, that person on YouTube, man, or like
Yeah,
like someone who did something a long time ago, like, oh dude, like,
I know
but
you.
then yeah, to anybody else, it's like, oh okay, well, like who the
it's a
fuck is
it's
this? Who the
it's a
fuck is
niche
this?
it's a niche group of
Yeah,
people.
right. I mean, so there's like a cooking community though that like probably you know is out there. And I don't know. So then yeah, they hit you up, and I don't know, because yeah, like you never know like what's gonna go. But then like, so how did that play over into wrestling? Did you get to be like, like use that as, bring it more into your gimmick at all? Be like,
So yeah, yes and no. Like people thought like I would like make it like a chef gimmick and stuff like that, but my shtick is like, nah, it's a food. I'm like a fat guy who loves food, but I'm an agile
yeah,
guy. So I'm the Wagyu beefcake, like,
yeah,
I'm the rarest they come. I got a lot of marvel, or I'm sorry, I got a lot of marble for you to marvel at. So, that's my
nice,
thing. There's still like a little bit of food into my gimmick, but it's not cooking right now.
right,
Gimmicks evolve every
yeah.
every 20, every second. So,
Do do you get to eat when you wrestle, or like do you bring shit out ever, or
I don't, but my entrance music is about tacos. So,
oh okay, cool, man.
but
uh,
I always have a fear
nice,
of choking if I eat while
yeah,
wrestling. Like a lot of wrestlers will chew gum while they wrestle, And I just,
Yep.
I'm like, I can't, man. I have
No.
like this fear of just being like, oh no. Everyone's like, oh, it's part of the show. It's fine. No,
Yeah.
no, it's
You see
not.
people and they're like fucking at the end of the match, you see them fucking still chewing the piece. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, I
Yeah.
had no clue you had a piece of gum because I mean, some people can spot that out right away and be like, some people are big sticklers about not chewing gum in,
You're
you
right.
know, like in the ring. And then, yeah, then there's some people that spit their gum out in the ring. And then,
Yeah.
uh, the only time I've ever stepped in gum was at an outdoor show, and I was a fucking bad guy, so it kind of worked out
There you
okay.
go. Okay.
But like,
That's not
it's like
bad.
fuck, man. So I got pretty fucking
Who did
hot
this?
off of that, man. Yeah. Why am I fucking stepping in glue? Not glue, but fucking
Gum.
gum. Like I'm gonna have to fucking pull this shit off the bottom of my boot. Like trying to do that before I get in the ring, and then still like wipe the fucking spent extra time doing that. I believe spent extra time wiping my feet on the apron before I got in. But
A little bit extra time,
um,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so let's see. So then, yeah, you got in like 2012, and so you like up in the, you know, is that like is that South Jersey that you're in? Are
It's
you like more like
I
Central
I would say that's still considered North Jersey. It's like right
North Jersey?
by,
Okay.
yeah, I was back by, so it's like 20-25 minutes from like the city in Hoboken. So like
Oh, okay.
it's still like a very northern part of the state.
Okay. So yeah, then it's really not too far for much.
Yeah, so but since then I've wrestled in, Connecticut and New York and Pennsylvania, so it's not, it's a stepping stone because as an indie wrestler, you're not just, you shouldn't be just wrestling for one company, like, this isn't
Right.
WWE. Like, you're not getting paid the big
Yeah.
bucks to stay one place. So, and the farther out you go, the more, name recognition you have. So people, be like, oh, it's Guapo Grande, I know that guy.
Yeah. And it's always nice to try to get over in a new place, man.
Exactly.
Especially, yeah, it's a new challenge. You have to fucking try something out different.
Definitely.
And
And one thing that's kind of like reassuring, because like when I first started out and stuff, like I would always have like my family would always come to like the local shows to support me.
oh
And
shit. Okay.
and I'm always like a fake. I never really work heel, so I always like have a pop when I come out. So once
Yeah.
like I have like a show in like Connecticut or something where there's no one there that bought tickets, and I'm still able to get to like the crowd over, it's kind of like a reassurance. She's like, oh, I guess I'm fucking doing my job good. Like, I guess
Yeah.
I can, work the crowd even though no one here knows me yet.
Right. And I mean, it's important because then you never know. Like, you never know what you're gonna fucking get into. You never know what kind of fucking crowd you're gonna have. You're gonna have a crowd that loves everything you do, and you go somewhere else, and you're like,
Why isn't
okay,
this
this is
working?
not working at all. I need to
Yeah.
change what I'm doing right now. Time for that improv to fucking
Yeah,
kick in.
100%. And it's
Like,
just like, I feel like, as I mean, I'm sure not, I'm not the first person to ever say this, but it's just, I feel like it might be harder to be a face or work a face than to
sure.
be a heel, man. Like, you can just get that cheap heat right out of the curtain if you're a heel. You're like, oh, this place
Yeah.
sucks. Or like when they go give someone a high five, like, psych loser. Like,
Right.
just cheap heat right away. While as a face, just like, come on, let me hear it. So it's definitely
After
something you gotta like dig in for.
yeah, after doing three flips off of something and then yeah,
Come
like you
on.
still no reaction. Like, what do I need to do?
Eight
What's
topes, and you're like, oh my
yeah.
god, they're not popping.
And next person comes out, does a little dance, and the fucking crowd goes fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, you're just like, all
Um,
right, it's the little things.
yep. And yeah, I mean that's a good thing to learn. With so many people doing trying to do so much and such,
It's
you
like
know,
it's like the smallest things can get you over. I mean,
right.
my favorite examples, not like saying it's a bad thing, but like Orange Cassidy, fucking genius, man. Just like the gimmick he has, like fucking
Yeah.
change part of our industry, just like with the way, like, there's like little, oh, the shin kicks and stuff. Like, because I mean, it was cooler to see it in the indies, but then you saw it at like the first AEW pay-per-view where he's like doing it to like Tommy Dreamer and like the crowd is just fucking popping for it. You're like,
Yeah.
fucking
Like,
genius, this guy, man. Like, god
yeah.
damn it. And then you guys like he goes right into that rival with Jericho. Like what other like indie wrestler can like just go right into like a Chris Jericho rivalry? Like that was fucking awesome to see. Like because I
Yeah.
mean that shows Jericho had to put his faith in this guy. You know
Right.
that's
And
fucking awesome to see.
yeah, being able to, put people over on the fucking I guess he's not really been coming down. Like he's still like up there. Like I'd
Oh
say like
yeah.
he's still like, I guess he's like
Yeah,
there
he's
maybe.
he's still at his peak, like
Yeah.
whenever you hear the whatever his theme song hits, you can hear everyone's popping like
Yeah, that fucking song, man.
yeah.
It goes crazy, man. Even on the show Cobra Kai. Um, do you ever watch that
Oh, I
show?
love I love Cobra Kai. I,
Okay.
I love when Judas was in, or like that fat guy. Oh, it was Stingray.
Yeah.
Stingray. He
Stingray.
was pulling up to Judas.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, holy shit! Like, and then find out that he's like a huge wrestling fan and
Yeah,
like, it's
it's
like,
funny because I
okay, that
I just watched a movie with him on Netflix recently. And like there was a scene where he's just like watching AEW, and I was like, oh my god! I wonder if
yeah,
it's like part of his stipulation in his contract to have some kind of wrestling reference.
probably. Why not, man? Like, it's like, hey, man, easy to fucking believe, I guess, if
Yeah,
it's what it is. Yeah, man, it's fucking cruel as shit. Like that he did that. I was like, okay, that fucking I don't know. That guy, you can't really do anything wrong. I don't think right now. I think pretty much everything he's been doing has been pretty. And then like who did he just have a match against?
Orange.
Um, was it Orange? Like I feel like he just wrestled someone fucking like within the last month. Um,
You talking about Orange Cassidy, who you wrestled?
no, no,
Oh, Jericho.
no, no. How Cole Walter Hauser, the guy who Stingray.
Oh, he had a match.
Yaha.
Oh my god, I did not know that.
Let's see. Who was it?
What?
Yeah. Shit, I don't know who the fuck it was. Um, maybe that's not his name. Maybe not Cole Walter Hauser. I don't know what his name is. Pat something Hauser. But yeah, dude, he just had a match. Uh, man,
Stingray from Cobra Kai.
yeah, there we go. Stingray. That'd be a better word. Stingray, Cobra Kai.
Raymond Porter. No, that's his character name. Whoops. Paul Walter Hauser.
Paul. Okay, yeah, Paul Walter Hauser. Okay. Uh, indie wrestling match. Who the fuck is it? Man, I can't think of who it is, man. It's gonna. I swear it was just someone, but um, shit, I don't know. But he's he's doing some
I
match. I
gotta check
guess
that out. I
that's what
gotta take a
matters,
look.
man.
See, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Because he came out and did a couple things for AEW. Um, I think it was AEW. Like couple things. Like I think he maybe did wrestle a match, like a tag match with someone. But I mean,
I don't know.
that's
Maybe you're just thinking another fat guy because I know Action Bronson had that tag match with Hook.
that one too.
That was a good match.
They both did. Yeah, I was pretty impressed, man, and I'm pretty happy that they're able to do some of the stuff with the music rights, with some of
Oh
those
yeah, definitely.
entrance musics, like getting to bring some of that shit in, and getting to have Action Bronson do your fucking
That was
uh
dope.
music is pretty sweet. And then like okay, let's bring him in and have him do a match. Okay, sure, man.
Solid.
Why the fuck not?
I mean, they like care about like little things like that. I mean, even when they just do Brian Danielson's final countdown one, just
Oh
like that
yeah.
one time. I mean, it's a one time thing, and everyone pop for it.
Um, God, like yeah, I wish they could have done it more, but I don't know what it costs. I don't know what fucking Europe's charging for,
Yeah.
you know.
It's probably a lot
Yeah.
for TK to be like, all right, we can only do this once, folks.
Yeah. Okay, so he's fucking working Matt Cordona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which will be great. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, why
What a
not?
glow up that man had, man. Matt
Right?
Cardona, like, God, I'd
Yeah.
love to see it. I mean, I would not. The the glow up was cool to see, but the shocking thing was how he did it. Like the King of the Deathmatch gimmick. Like I never would have saw like fucking Matt Cardona being a deathmatch wrestler, but he
Yeah.
fucking watching all his GCW matches with like Nick Gage and stuff. Holy shit!
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, the woo 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 is gone, baby.
Right. This guy has some depth of what he can do, man, and I mean, good on him for that fucking hustle, man.
Oh,
That
100%.
fucking
Like,
hustle, like fucking, why not? Why not, man? Just fucking
you
go
know,
for it. So
he's collecting belts like no one's business, you know?
yeah. Um. So what's the fucking strangest place you've had a match? Like the venue, I guess, or lack of venue that you've had
Uh,
a match.
So I wouldn't say it's strange. It was just weird because I worked a match that was on top of it was like in a high school on top of a stage. So it's like just like it's like a Broadway stage. So we're only working one side of the ring. Like it's so weird because like
Oh,
you're trained to work all four sides, and
yeah.
but like, you're just selling to this. It's like perpetual hard cam, and the hard cam is the audience, and it was a cool thing. But like you're like, all right, turn around, turn around, turn around. Other than
Yeah.
that, I've been pretty reluctant to have really like safe and good working environments. I did recently do a show in Connecticut with a 10 by 10 ring. It was in a
Oh,
bar, so it was like a
yeah.
very small ring, but it was like very cool because like it's like I felt so tall because like I was running the ropes and I did like two steps to or like I did one step and I had
Oh
to
yeah.
hit the ropes. I was like, boom.
Yeah. The with OCW,
Yeah, that was
okay.
OCW.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I was doing one step, man. Like one step, just like
I was like,
turn, like, okay,
I'm
that's
like,
it, man.
all right, here we go. This must be what it's like to be like Big Show or Great Ali.
Yeah. Dude, it is fucking weird. And then the fact that you can fit in a place that's like smaller and you,
Yeah, but
why not?
the crowd though was very hot, and I like really, it was my
Cool.
first show. I did it like worked at a bar, and like it was
Oh,
so
okay.
cool. Yeah, it was like very like everyone was into it. Like you could tell like people who like didn't come for the wrestling like were
Yeah.
into the wrestling. I guess that's like the showmanship of the sport. Like we are enticing your curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I had some fucking old guy come up to me at that show. I think it was like a show or two, maybe I don't know, like 2, 3 months ago. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I fucking don't like wrestling. Never watched it, but like I was at the show tonight and I fucking loved it, man." I'm like, "Cool, man, keep coming back." I'm like, "This is my last show, but yeah, fucking keep coming back, man." Dude, I fucking yeah, and it's a fun group of people there, man. I did like working there. I worked, I don't know, probably like few shows for him, I think, before I left. But yeah, man, fucking fun locker room. Yeah, crowd was into what was going on, and
Yeah.
so and weird ring, which is cool, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's
you know,
it helps you like change up your game. Like you can't be too stagnant with what you're comfortable with in this industry, man.
right? Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, like the improv, like you need to be fucking ready. Like something that might get over
One place.
wherever is not going to get over in another. Like at one point, I had a hipster gimmick, and uh, back in Oregon, like uh, in one place, like in Portland, like it was one thing, but then you go like 45 minutes south into like a rural area, and you try to do that, and it's like, dude, you can't go and like do a hipster gimmick. and try to be a fucking good guy, you're automatically a fucking heel,
Heel.
man. Like, okay, good to know, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's fucking, you got to be on your toes. And sometimes, like, you do something like that, yeah, it works all the time, and then it just gets like falls kind of flat, and you're like,
Yeah, I mean,
okay, got to
e-
change what we're doing.
even in like it's just, like regionally, like what's is it Necro Butcher nowadays is doing the like the Trumper gimmick
Oh
over
shit,
over in the South, but if you come do shows in New York, New Jersey, he's a heel. Like it's just like
yeah,
it's very like regional, like what can go over or not. And I mean, not for every gimmick, but it's like
yeah,
crazy. Like the thing, like one kind of specific gimmick will be over somewhere, and then it'll just get you mad heat somewhere else.
right. And yeah, I mean, like, um, I don't know, man. It's fucking just, it's all over the place, dude. It's fucking, you never know. And like sometimes, like if you have a match, that's every spot planned out, and like
Something goes awry.
something goes right, and you're like, okay, well, now what? Now
Yeah,
I
no.
got fucking 6 minutes of fucking match left, and they're not giving a fuck what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a single match in the last 12 years that every like spot was hit to a T. Like I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever had a match where like one of us forgot to hit like a spot or like had to like change it on the fly. And
yeah,
I think that's like because even when I was doing stand up, I was like that. Like I never worked off of like me like doing a joke verbatim. It was always like I work around the premise and then work the joke into it. Like because
yeah,
if I was like all like ABC driven and I forgot B, I would fuck everything up. So like I take that into wrestling now. Like, I when I first started, I thought I'd be like, all right, like Macho Man, like I need to call everything before the match. You need to know what's happening. And now I'm just like, if I had a match or two with someone and I really like know them, I'm like, do you want to just call this shit on the fly? Like, it's I just feel like it's much better to do it like that way. It's more comfortable. Like you know what they can and can't do. So like you're not forgetting spots. You're just like working with them, letting the motions go.
right. And yeah, making people. I mean, the whole job is to make whoever you're with like look as good as you can fucking make them look, man. You don't want to have them trying to do some fucking move set that they may or may not be able to do. Like you, like, oh, I think I can. Like, no, let's just do something
Well,
else. Let's
what
fucking,
have you done?
yeah, yeah. What have you done that works and looks good? Because I don't want you to try something. You can try it in training, but hold off on that for now. It's probably not going to go as well as we think it's going to go. But
Yeah, we're gonna do a Spanish fly outside. I'm gonna run in, give or run back in the ring, give you a second rope tope,
yeah,
double down
eh,
outside.
yeah, and then the 2 count, and then we'll get
Yeah.
off.
My biggest, like, not biggest, but like feel so bad for Shawn Michaels, man. We fucking our generation
Yep.
of wrestlers murdered his fucking his finisher. Super kick was like the way to go. And now just like part of every moveset. So I'm just like, all right. So I made a promise myself I'll never do a super kick in any one of my matches.
Yeah, I haven't done one either, man. I've done the boot, the big boot, but
Yeah.
haven't done like the
That's
super kick.
yeah.
But I don't need my legs going like that. I don't think my legs can go like that anymore, man. I
And it's like I don't, like all right, well I'll take a super kick, but I'm not, kicking out at one. I'll like do a false
yeah,
finish.
yeah. And plus, like everyone's doing it, and so like same thing with like jumping up a bunch of stuff. Like there's a lot of people who can do that a lot better than I can. Like, what would be the point of
Yeah,
me
I'd be
being
doing
like
it.
I'm not going to say probably even second or third best, but probably somewhere down the line, like why would I do that? Like when I could do something else that other people can do, or other people can't really do as well as I can. You just kind of stick with that, and that's kind of what wrestling is. I
Yeah.
guess kind of anything's about, like find out what you can do where you're not. So I don't know. There's been a lot of people who are like, "Oh man, you're like the new fucking blah 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 insert wrestler here," and it's like, well, shit. Like
Like I don't want to be
then,
the new blah blah blah. I want to be myself. I want to be Guapo. I
Yeah,
want to be the Guapo Grande, you know?
right. And you're the best one there is. Like, so like
Exactly.
you gotta take that, man. So when you were figuring out your gimmick, was that like the first one you came up with, and it's been that way ever since, or do you
So
have something else
I always
before?
I always had Guapo Grande when I started wrestling. But like the road to getting Guapo Grande was like different. I was like, all right, what do like, I was like, I went to school in 2010. Like, so I was like, I remember like Twitter was a big thing. So I was like, maybe I should just be like hashtag Chris Greco because my shoot name's Chris Greco. And I was like, maybe not. Maybe I was like, oh, maybe I'll just, you know, keep my mom. I'll do my mom's maiden name, so I'll be like Chris Inglese or something like that. Because I figured I always liked having the name Chris, just because like Chris. I was a big Chris Jericho fan, like Chris Candido. So like, all right, I'm part of this elite group of Chris's, you know.
Yeah.
um, and I was like, all right, well, maybe not. Let me think about it. And then I remember back in high school, I was talking to this one girl, and her parents didn't speak any English. So I was like talking to her mom one day and I was trying to describe myself. I'm like, yo soy grande, but es muy guapo. Yo soy guapo grande, you know? And I was like, I was thinking about that conversation and I was like, guapo grande. Okay. It sounds kind of cool. So now, ever since that, boom, stuck.
Fucking that's how it goes, man. Like, all right, that's what it's gonna be. That's what's working. That's what you
Yeah.
fucking get over. Um, go for it. Like, fuck yeah.
And anytime I'll like make conversation with someone who's like not a wrestling fan and they're like, oh, they'll be like, oh, they're like, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, oh, Guapo Grande. They're like, oh, that's such a good name. I'm like, thank you, appreciate
Yeah.
that.
And it fucking works, man. Like, you go with it. And
Yeah.
so uh so you mentioned, yeah, Chris Candido. So were you going to like shows and shit when you were younger? Like, were you going to?
Yeah, we had a so I grew up in Hudson County, New Jersey, which is like right across the river from Manhattan. So I would go to like the indie shows that were in like, high schools and grammar schools, VFWs, because WWE tickets or WWF back then, they just
Right.
cost a lot of money. So like my sister and her now husband would bring me to like all these like indie shows. I mean, I remember, I guess was Jace, the original like Jersey Championship Wrestling when I was a kid. I was going to, and then other other indie feds, that would have like, you uh Kevin Nash or Sandman just be billed and not advertise or be billed for the show and be like, unfortunately, Sandman couldn't make it today. So but it's like it
But
was
that
cool.
could change.
Yeah, exactly. So like I remember like the first time um I met the first ever wrestler I ever met was Disco Inferno, and I was like when I was like 9 or 10 years old at a indie show, and it's so funny because like just thinking to myself like the 12-second conversation I had with him, I was like this little fucking Mark fat kid talking to Disco Inferno. He's probably like get the fuck out of my face. I'm like uh, it's just so funny like how like little things like that can carry over and like be such an influential part of who you are now. Like
Right.
it's so funny just like where you started, now where you are.
Yeah. That 15-second interaction, man. Like, with Disco Inferno, like, that changed who you are,
Yeah,
basically.
like
Like, changed where your life was going, what decisions you made down the line because of a 15-second conversation with Disco Inferno and fucking when you're 9 years old. Like, that's fucking cool, man. Like, and he probably didn't think anything of it. Like you
yeah,
said, he probably just like, oh, some fucking Mark kid. Like,
doing this
okay,
fucking, had how many conversations he has this, every weekend or something like that. It's like, all right, just part of the spoke on the wheel.
yeah. But then here it is now. Yeah, fucking probably like what, like 21 right now, 22, something like that. Yeah,
Me, I'm
yeah.
31.
31. Okay, yeah. So it's been, 20 some years since then, and like,
It's that little
he
thing,
fucking he's still, if you ever fucking run into him, man, you can be like, hey, hey man, like, uh So and I see a lot in Philadelphia, not Philadelphia, in fucking New Jersey. Like there's fucking conventions all the time, like with the
Yeah.
fucking, the old wrestlers and shit.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
I
I think
I see them
I would
all
like to
over.
I like to say that New Jersey is like the indie wrestling capital of the United States. You know, like I feel like most big shows run in New Jersey. Not like, belittling any other state or saying, but like
Yeah,
I just feel like the Rawway Center back in the day, and now the Mecca in Ridgefield Park is like always something like people talk about and like have stories from. So I mean, and if you watch IWTV, it's always something is in Ridgefield Park nowadays.
yeah. And it's like that's fucking cool, man. Like just always having something, man. Yeah, dude. Like and so like when I grew up, uh it was like 1990 or 1991 until like 20 or not 20, like 2003 or 4, somewhere around there. Maybe like, yeah, 90, maybe 91 to 2003 or 2004. Like in Oregon, the Wrestling and Boxing Commission, like once like the steroid trial stuff hit,
Hmm.
like they made it so like you basically couldn't have like any wrestling like at all. So like nothing came there to Oregon. They're like hardly any fucking
Really?
yeah, just
Oh
barely
my
any
God.
fucking like indie feds or anything, just sort of like somehow getting around. And like even like in Washington too, it was probably not until like the last 5 or 6 years that they couldn't, the only place they could have or shows were basically like on a reservation, or else like they had a thing every show you had to have an ambulance on site, or else you couldn't run the show. And like an ambulance
It's a lot
to
of
have
money.
on site is like a couple grand. So like taking a couple grand off of fucking any show, like what's the point of having
Yeah,
most shows? Like taking 2 grand right off the top to
that's
money that
wild.
you're not going to touch. And yeah, man.
Jeez.
So like I see these places like in New Jersey, and it's like, fuck, dude, that's awesome. Like having that much like all the time. And everyone fucking comes through. Like New Jersey's not that far from a lot of places. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean it's
I
nice, like,
mean, you're that one the one place in Richmond Park is like, 8 to 12 minutes from the George Washington Bridge. So you get a lot of New York folks like just running out of there too. So like
yeah,
it's very versatile state. Then you got all the Philly states running out of South Jersey. So
yeah. Yeah, it's fucking great. And then yeah, now the fucking the fucking WrestleMania and shit down there.
yeah, so that'll
Um
be a big weekend for everyone.
yeah. And it's fucking so cool like that everyone's once I started piggybacking off of that, I enjoy it, man. Like I enjoy that it goes on for like a whole week, and they like
Oh
all
yeah.
these different things are added to it, and it's not just WrestleMania anymore. It's like
It's
wrestling.
WrestleMania, WrestleComma Mania.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man. So like anything you fucking want to go do, or fucking it's not just, yeah, you're there fucking for whatever. And I don't know, man. That's
It's fucking awesome.
pretty
Like that's
pretty
it's
neat,
alive
man.
and well. I like the coolest thing right now for me is my one niece. She's like full into like wrestling, but like indie wrestling because she'll like watch WWE, but she like comes to my shows, and like the first ever show she came made her fucking just fall in love with it. And like she'll know like all of ECPW's like events and going on, and like all the like the wrestlers storylines. And I'm like so proud uncle, like
Yeah.
I'm molding this child to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and I mean, then you're right there, man. Like with the big shows, dude. Like you're not fucking, you're not part of that. You're not in there. Like I don't know, like part of it's the right wording for that. But like, yeah, I mean, like once I fucking got into indie wrestling, and I was going to shows, dude. Like I didn't give a fuck about anything else. I just like this fucking promotion is all I care about with wrestling right now. Like I was someone who was watching, WWE fucking like every fucking week, man. And
Oh
then it was
yeah.
like, well, I don't care about this anymore, man. This is fucking weird. Like it's just an indie shit, man. Like this where it's at, man. And
But no,
um
yeah, but like within like the last like 4 or 5 years, YouTube I feel like really helped build a lot of indie wrestling and stuff like that because I mean even with like the whole incidents, but like YouTube really brought up Joey Ryan. I mean, not I'm not
right.
saying
Yeah.
anything about, but like it's like a
Everyone
perfect
saw the
example.
dick flip video.
Yeah, like and that got over. Like you saw
Yeah.
Joey Ryan on a poster, like oh fucking I know this guy. Like same thing with like Orange Cassidy. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, he was fucking booked everywhere. Like
yeah,
every fucking week, like the guy was like, yeah, like 2 3 shows every week all over the country, all over the fucking world. And then
and
yeah, but
but YouTube works wonders.
yeah, yeah. And because there'd be people that like never fucking watch wrestling or know what wrestling is. They're like sending me this, hey, you see this video of this guy flipping someone with his dick? Like, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like,
saw
dude, like this what wrestling is? Kinda,
it. And
kinda. I mean,
now like
sometimes.
deathmatch wrestling is like I like I support deathmatch wrestling because like that's the one it brings me back to being a fan because I'll never do deathmatch wrestling, but I enjoy watching it. So like
Yep.
that's like my like silver not silver lining, but like that's my like fine line of still being able to be a fan of something without, being like, all right, well, this is part of the show. Because like there's a nice like divide of, pro wrestling and then deathmatch wrestling where you're like, all right, I don't know, is what the fuck is this is like I'm not doing it. Like I mean, I used to work with Brandon Kirk when I worked JCW back in the day, and now he's one of the biggest like in deathmatch wrestlers. And I'm like, fucking more proud of him and Danny D'Amato, man. Like huge ICW no holds barred stars, and fucking I give them so much credit because they go through a lot of shit that I am not willing to do. Hit them, Jeff Cannonball, like and it's very entertaining. Like I love watching it. Like me and my one friend, I like whenever she comes over, she like loves ultraviolence, so we'll like just put on like
Oh, okay.
you'll just put on like JC or GCW or a Schlack match or Nick Gage match.
Yeah, and then those things too are fucking great gifs or like little short form things like cuz this the fucking some crazy move.
Yeah,
I've seen some of those go fucking,
man.
you
I
know.
mean, deathmatch wrestling has done wonders for the stock market in the light tube industry.
Right. Yeah, dude, it's like fuck like oh man, these fucking LED lights are gonna put us out of business. But it's
Yeah.
like deathmatch wrestlers like, wait, hold on a minute. We still
F-
got you. We'll keep you in business.
Yeah, right. Fuck investing in GameStop. Put all your money in Phillips.
Yeah. Right. Dude, yeah, then yeah, that's something like but then I'm happy that I've never got hit with the fucking light tube, but I'm like you said, like I love that people are doing that and fucking getting hit with light tubes so I don't have to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like that, these people crawled so we can walk physically
right.
and metaphorically.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid, I stepped on a Christmas ornament and it was the worst thing in the world. So I'm like, glass is not my like not my forte. Like
Yeah.
I'll do chairs, trash cans. I'll even maybe I'll think about a thumbtack spot, but
Yeah.
glasses like I'm like I can't do it, man.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another thing too, like knowing what some of those things actually feel like stepping on glass. And then so like with people like some of those matches, like some of the shit like people don't like the casual fan probably hasn't had happen to them, probably haven't had light tubes smashed over them, but probably, have cut themselves on glass before.
Yeah,
Um, there was one that was going around for a while, the paper cuts, those
yeah.
ones. And like a lot of people know what a paper cut feels like, so they can fucking
They're like,
feel that.
oh yeah,
Um, but and then like this also like then you know how to sell it.
yeah,
You know how to do that. And but like with wrestling, there, some people in wrestling have never been punched in the face, and I don't know how that happens. And then you can tell it when you
Yeah.
watch them sell, and it's like,
Oh
hold
shit.
on, like, have you never been punched in the face? Like, you don't do that when you get punched in the face. Like, it's
Yeah, gotta have some realism to it.
yeah. And but me, like the paper cut, like everyone knows what a fucking paper cut feels like. And
Yeah,
a lot
they had that
people,
Lego spot for a while. I mean, everyone
right?
knows what it's
Yeah,
like to step on Legos.
yeah, yeah. No, man, I saw someone do one with a razor scooter and like
Oh, right in the
kicking
shin.
around. Yeah, kicking around him in the shin.
Oh,
And
oh,
I was like, that one like fucking brought me right back to that. I was like, shit, man.
bro.
Like,
I don't even have to. I don't even have to sell for that because it's like I'm like, oh,
yeah,
just a PTSD.
yeah, yeah. Fucking my shins are destroyed from the I don't know, those things, man. Those fucking razor scooters.
Fucking, we're not meant for kids. I don't know who the fuck marketed it for us, but
No, yeah. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I was like fucking man, it's like 17 or 18 when they came out. Um, but I got one like right when they came out.
of course
Like
you did.
I
Like, I mean,
yeah,
here's the thing to get, you know?
yeah, yeah. I had a friend that worked at Bed Bath and Beyond, and so like there was those 20% off coupons that you always get from there, and then she had her fucking uh employee discount. So
Nice.
otherwise I wouldn't have got it. But like
Yeah.
I'm like, I can get it for this cheap. Like, but then I get made fun of a lot for fucking riding around that thing? Sure fucking did, man. But man, I did got a lot of people to fucking get those things, man. There's
Trendsetter.
my yeah, there's my inner hipster of fucking razor scooters, dude. Like my inner hipster's like, yeah, dude, fucking got in on that razor scooter thing. And yeah, I mean then it's like, okay, well, fucking loser, man, with the razor scooter. But like, fuck, dude, I like it, man. I,
I,
I still see him every once in a while too.
yeah,
Like
like
I
once in
should
a while.
probably buy one.
Scooters are making a big comeback now. Like, but by me, it's like they're like the rent bikes. They're like rent a scooters now.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. They're fun. They're fun to ride on. I in in Minneapolis, I was riding around on those. It was fun, man. I fucking enjoyed it. And then I ended up getting a little one that was kind of like that, but you know, so I was
More,
like, this is fun. Like I wanna
yeah,
ride around on this, and I don't want to be in the city all the time. But yeah, dude, it's fun, man. Like
I love it.
yeah, why not fucking ride around on a scooter? It's okay. Like be a little old, and fucking
It's
can't
good
get
for your
around too
joints,
well.
you know? It's like
Yeah,
it's saving you the mileage on your knees.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I just fucking follow along. It was those, and then like yeah, I had that, and like the like the pedal assist bike going with it.
Yeah.
Man, like yeah, this shit. Yeah, I grew up like on a big hill, and so like
Nice.
yeah, it was nice going down, but then you have to fucking
Walk all the way
walk all the way back up.
up.
So yeah, got those calf muscles going, but yeah, man, now it's like fuck, I don't want to do that shit. But uh, what was I gonna say? So like, what let's see, what's one of like the weirdest spots you've done? Like that, like whether it's a comedy spot or a fucking hardcore spot or whatever it may
So
be.
so I now have a spot modified out of Joey Ryan. So along with being the Wagyu beefcake, I'm the Peck Papa Poppy. So
Okay.
it's me getting my nipples twisted,
That's
but
another one that everyone knows what it feels like.
yeah, a purple nurple, especially for us
Right.
fat guys growing up with moobs. Like
Yeah.
everyone touched our tits back in the day. Like, so
Right.
I like will pop them out, pop, and then just the guy will just bump back, and it's like it gets such a
Yeah.
good reaction. Like,
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
I'll be the first one to say I took the Joey Ryan dick flip and put it on my tits. So
Yeah. I love it, man. Like, and something like that. And then for whoever's taking it, I mean, like,
The easy bump.
yeah, that's not a bad fucking bump to take, man. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, fine, sure, I'll do that one. Um, and some people come up and they got this fucking like really complex, like, uh, okay, I mean, I guess I'll
I
take it
like
because my finishing maneuver is staring up at the lights for 3 seconds. So like, I guess that's what I'm taking. But yeah, like when someone's like, oh yeah, man, you just fucking flash your boobs, dude, and
yeah.
like, all right, fuck, cool, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
one thing I've noticed, like you really like get an appreciation for your like fellow worker when you're like suggesting like you like, because I'm a bigger guy in the ring, so like when I'm like they're like, oh, what if I like, and if they're going over, they're like, oh, what if I like, like have you pass out? I'm like, I could just tap, and they're like, you don't mind tapping? I'm like, bro, it's like so wild, like the concept of people not wanting to tap, like
right, it's
submissions.
way overdone
Yeah, like
right now.
submissions are like the one of the most realist thing we bring to the sport. Like
Yeah.
I did judo and jiu-jitsu my whole life, and like
Oh
if a
shit.
fucking skinny guy in the street got me in an arm bar, like I'm gonna fucking like tap that shit, fucking can break my arm. Like,
Yeah.
and like I don't have to be passed out to make you look strong, bro. Like joints on the biggest guy are still very microscopic. So an arm bar or a wrist lock can fucking tear that whole guy's in a shoot fight would tear that
Yeah.
fucking guy's arm off like that. So like it's all about ring psychology. I mean, I get not making yourself look weak, but you still gotta at the end of the day you gotta do what's best and make this look as legitimate as possible. And that to me
Right.
is like nothing is more legitimate looking than some fucking cruiserweight making some heavyweight tap out at a knee bar.
Right. But it can happen, and like that's it's what it is, and like it's also fucking like it's nice when someone tells you that they have a fucking submission finish too, and
So you're
it's
not doing
like,
some fucking crazy shit.
yeah,
You're like,
like,
all
okay,
right, let's do it.
yeah, I can do that. I can fucking I can move around.
Yeah.
It's like this is awesome, man. Um, yeah, dude, like just being able to figure stuff out. Like there's so much that was said, when we were training, like that I wish I would have got earlier. But it's just one of those things. Like you eventually, like
It's a live
no
and
matter
learn
what I can
kind of
tell you,
thing.
like yeah, whatever, like whatever. I'll do it, and then like man, I should have. Now I get it. Now I'm like fucking far enough in, and it's like shit. Like I wasted a lot of years like before I should have been doing that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, some of it caught on, but yeah, some of it definitely took a long time to get to that spot. But it's an ever evolving, ever learning fucking
Yeah,
game right there,
yeah.
man.
I mean, indie wrestling and just pro wrestling in general, you're never done learning. It's like it's just because you got graduated college doesn't mean there's not more to learn.
Right. Yeah. Once you're not learning anything, then quit. Then you quit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then you're done. Like
Then
you
start
get to
teaching.
that point. Yeah. Start. Right. Right. And yeah, I mean, like I don't know. There's just so much of this. It's fun, and like you meet all kinds of fucking people you wouldn't have met ever. Like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that I fucking met. Like if I would have fucking came across them anywhere else,
You're like, who the
no
fuck is
way.
this person?
Yeah, we would never be fucking hanging out. And then it's like wrestler. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's just another fucking wrestler. It's like
Like,
okay,
oh, it makes sense.
yeah, like yeah, okay, well, we're good then.
Oh.
But so where can people find you? Either in person, online, in a back alley?
In back alley, I'm married now, so all my glory hole days are gone. So,
Oh man. Okay,
you can
well,
find me on Instagram at wagyu_beefcake. That's my personal and wrestling account. If you want to follow my cooking one, it's Guap's Grubs, and that's on Instagram and on YouTube. And then my X, not Twitter, my X now is at Real Guapo Grande. And then you could search Guapo Grande on YouTube and see all my cooking, restaurant, and wrestling videos all in one source.
So do you do the editing for your YouTube videos then?
So for my cooking show, I'll between me and my wife and my one friend, we'll like take shifts editing. So I got a good support system.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's a big fucking help, man.
yeah, my wife went to school for videography, so it was very clutch. But I was reluctant to find her in my life. But and check me out on Netflix, Easy Bake Battle. You know, the
Yeah.
holiday episode.
Cool, man. For sure. Well, dude, thanks for coming on. I'm happy we got to meet and fucking
Likewise, Rusty, man.
yeah.
Hopefully, I'll see you some more at any OCW shows.
Yeah, if I'm back up there, I keep thinking like it's so fucking far away, dude, but it's not. It's like, well, right now it's like 5 hours probably right now, but it's not that far. Like I've like, dude, like when I was in fuck when I was in Utah, dude, like it was like you can go 6 hours to Vegas,
Oh wow,
eight
really?
hour, yeah, 8 hours to fucking Denver, or like or Seattle or fucking Portland was like 11 or 12. Like,
Wow.
dude, everything was fucking far. So like 5 hours is not
Yeah, it's hop, skip, and a jump.
bad. But yeah, man, yeah, hopefully I'll see you around there or somewhere if you're out, like, yeah, maybe in Jersey or Philly or something. Or
Yeah, hit me up, man.
yeah, cool,
We'll grab
man.
a pint.
Likewise. Hell yeah.
All right,
All
brother.
right,
Have a good
well,
one, man. Take care,
you
everybody.
too.
Like and subscribe. Rusty Diamond.
Hell yeah. Like and subscribe to fucking Guapo Grande. So thank you everyone for being here and listening. Uh yeah, if you want to be on the show, fucking hit me up. Find me somewhere or email me rustydiamondhypnosis@gmail.com. Call me 503-974-6420. Yep, I got that number. What you gonna do about it? So yeah, thanks to everyone for being here. And that is the show. Man, you know it. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.